A close married friend 30M tried to sleep with my wife 31F. Context. My wife and I have been together for 12 years and have a relatively large friend group in the area we live in that my wife and I have known for a long time. My wife 31F, who we'll call M, and this particular person we'll call him J30M, are well liked and a good friend to everybody. Further context, my wife and I have a somewhat open relationship. We occasionally fool around with other couples after we've discussed it together and both agreed on the rules. Random hookups aren't allowed. We have also not shared this info with anyone in our friend group. These are people I care about dearly. Ruining that with sex is the last thing I want. Last week, my wife told me that one night, about 6 months ago, J and M did shrooms together. I was aware of this in advance, trusted them both and said to have fun. J tried to initiate sex in the middle of it. He made comments about how he'd always wanted to, but it would ruin our friend group, so he was afraid. My wife declined his offer but admitted they did cuddle and touch each other's legs a bunch. Also, J is recently married as well. I'm now torn on what to do. I doubt J's wife would be happy, but I'm not interested in destroying our friend group. J seemed very contrite afterwards according to M and hasn't brought it up since. On the other hand, I don't even really care a whole lot somebody hit on her, which seems to be an indication that I'm kinda done with the marriage anyway. I'm upset my wife took the better part of half a year to tell me, and things haven't been going very well between us for other reasons. We've been together almost 12 years and have had our share of ups and downs. Lately it's been mostly downs. I frankly don't know what I should do, and I can't ask anyone I know for advice as they all know my wife and Jay. I honestly don't even know how much of this is relevant, but I'm just kind of spewing here. I know the right thing is to tell Jay's wife this happened so she can make a decision for herself. And likely break things off with my own wife. I haven't been invested in the relationship for a while for other reasons, and the fact she'd hide this from me for so long makes me not trust her at all. Too long did not read. My wife and a close friend did drugs, with my permission. Friend tried to fuck my wife didn't tell me for 6 months. Why is she telling you now? I know the right thing is to tell Jay's wife this happened so she can make a decision for herself. And likely break things off with my own wife. I haven't been invested in the relationship for a while for other reasons, and the fact she'd hide this from me for so long makes me not trust her at all. You've hit the nail on the head. The only good advice in this thread is trust your instincts and do the right thing. If you're not invested in your marriage, I don't really see the issue on your end, to be honest. If I was Jay's wife, I'd want to know though. Fuck his wife. Problem solved. Get ready for numerous minor confessions. Someone knows what happened between the two adulterers and have threatened them. My boyfriend, 33M, of 7 years won't commit to me, 33F. I, 33F, have been with my boyfriend, 33M, for 7 years, going on 8 years in September. Not sure if this is too pertinent to my case, but we have known and liked each other since we were 15 years old and reconnected later in our mid-20s. Anyway, in the amount of time we have been together, we have lived together for 4 years and have a dog together. To this date, he has not proposed to me, nor do we have any kids. We have previously talked about kids, but he worries about not being ready, and we haven't really touched the topic of marriage. We just had a small argument over how he still has all his personal mail go to his mom's house, and nothing that goes to the home we have shared in the last 4 years. Most recently, he tells me how he plans on buying a house with one of his siblings. It made me feel a little bad because I have been waiting for him to want to buy a house with me. I can't help but somehow feel he is not committed to me. When I playfully pester him and ask him, "Why do you love me?" he gives me dumb childish reasons that don't feel genuine. One day he wanted to open his own business and snag a local business location which he couldn't have done on his own. Between my brother and I, we could have made it happen if it wasn't for a hiccup with the landlord's current tenant. His siblings nor his family were there. Nor were they there when he had one day passed out, hit his head on the fridge, and I took him to the hospital. I would move the stars and the moon for this guy, but deep inside I feel he will not do the same for me. As a woman I feel my time is running up. I want the kids, marriage, or even just the damn commitment. At this point, if he proposes, I will not accept it because why now, and not earlier? It makes me feel like a last resort. I know he may love me, but I feel he does not love me enough. Am I the asshole? Edit. First and foremost, I did not think my post will receive this much attention. I want to first-handedly give you all a big thank you for taking the time to leave some insight. whether it was kind and thoughtful or even the rotten and rude ones. Nevertheless, you still took the time. That being said, I will try to respond to most of the individual comments to clarify things, but in general. 1. You're right. If he wanted to, he already would've, and I love myself more. 2. What I meant by playfully pestering was that I did not want to give him an ultimatum. That's not me, but I understand why most brought this up. In my heart of hearts, I guess I just wanted this to happen organically without my saying so, as I expected this would have come directly from him instead. I get it. 3. Kindly understand. There is nothing anyone can say that will be hurtful to me. It takes a lot for me to feel any form of hurt, however, aside from what my sunk cost fallacy folks said. Though I understood you loud and clear, kindly understand. I am now mentally in a place where I am beginning to grieve my relationship, as well as emotionally and mentally start checking out. It's hard for me to let things go, but I am strong enough to know sometimes letting things go is okay. 4. I know you're all just strangers on the internet. But goodness, I'm glad you all exist and I very much value your input. I hope you all get a fucking win because I know we're all going through our own battles. I love you, sweet kind strangers. He's not committed, but this was known far earlier. You didn't need almost 8 years to figure it out. He knows you aren't going anywhere, and if you do, he's fine with it. It's unfortunate you are learning this outcome way too late. Have you straight up asked him if he plans to marry you? Don't joke or tease or insinuate, ask him. Honestly, if he hasn't done it by now, it probably isn't happening. He is not committed to you. You are a placeholder until Miss Right comes along. Convenient for splitting costs so he can save to buy with his sibling. Just end it now and find someone who values you and wants what you want. I think you need to watch Jigsaw by Daniel Sloss on Netflix. He's a comedian with very insightful thoughts on relationships. I also think you need a laugh now. I hate to sound cliché, but it sounds like he's just not that into you. My 21F boyfriend, 23M, was dishonest about having a kid. The kid is evil. What do I do? Throwaway account, as my boyfriend knows my other Reddit account. My boyfriend and I were dating for 3 months before he told me he had a kid. He never let me come over because he didn't want me to know, because he was afraid of how I would react, as I am very vocally anti-kids. In those 3 months I definitely fell in love. I fell head over heels for him, and once he realized he was falling in love too, he told me about his kid. Like I said, I already felt strong feelings for him, so I was willing to give things a shot, and I met his kid. I brought some toys and his favorite candy and put in genuine effort to make a good impression on the child. The kid was really sweet when my boyfriend was around, and the moment my boyfriend left the room to use the restroom, his kid threw his Nintendo Switch at my face, causing a black eye. I figured he's having a hard time with his dad seeing someone new and not having all the attention, so I gave him plenty of patience and took things at the kid's pace. Well, it's been 6 months since then, and the kid is literally one of the scariest kids I've ever seen. He puts on the sweetest front when my boyfriend is around. The second my boyfriend leaves, the kid is hitting me, pulling my hair, spitting on me, throwing things at me, and then his dad will walk in and the child will run to the other side of the room and pretend he was playing with his toys the whole time. He also has thrown my belongings in the toilet and has thrown food and drinks at me. He does things like this constantly, and now it's gotten to the point that he does little things in front of his dad too and pretends it's accidental. For example, a few days ago we were all playing soccer in the yard, and every time I would take a break he would kick the soccer ball as hard as he could at my face. He did it 4 times in like an hour. I know where the behavioral issue is coming from, so I'm trying to be understanding, and I really try not to force myself into his life. I just don't know what to do. I've never shown him it bothers me or that I'm angry about it, because I feel like that would fuel it more. Where do I go from here? This is clearly not what you signed up for. Also, how do you date someone for 3 months and not know he's a father? That's a red flag. What are you going to learn at 6 months? You don't want kids. He has a kid. You don't want a liar. He is a liar. Please break up FFS. You're vocally anti-kids and he's got a kid with mad behavioral issues. Why would you stay in a relationship like this? His kid is abusing you and you're just taking it? Have you told his father and you said he's now doing it in front of him? What does dad do about it? You don't need to do anything but leave a potentially dangerous situation, along with the fact you don't want kids. You're only 21 years old. Do you really want to play mommy to an evil kid with a liar for a father? If you knew at the beginning he has a child, especially a child that was abused and this violent, would you have dated him? If you stay with him, this will be your everyday. And the thing is, the main issue isn't even the child. Your boyfriend is a liar. He lied to you on purpose because he knew how you felt about kids and waited until you were invested in the relationship. That's so scummy and manipulative. It shows how he handles conflict. Instead of telling you and letting you make your own decision, he lied because he was afraid and didn't want you to leave him over it. What else has he, or will he, lie about in the future just to avoid conflict with you? My 20 female roommate, 19 female, claims my boyfriend, 21 male, and I have an unhealthy relationship. My roommate brought up how my boyfriend and I might have an unhealthy relationship, and I completely disagree, but I don't know how to tell her otherwise. Her reasonings are: I stopped going out, parties, clubbing, the bar, she never sees me around anymore, and when she does it's often with my boyfriend. When we do go out, I always end the night early and to my boyfriend's. I want to preface I am actively attended my university classes and I am still active in all my clubs and extracurriculars. So is he. We agreed to put our academics before each other. To counter her claims, I don't go out anymore because I don't enjoy going out. I've lessened my frequency of partying before I even met my boyfriend. However, due to her requests, I'd go out with her, most of the time, which I'd be sober and take care of her. Now, my weekends are busier because my boyfriend and I do things we enjoy that don't involve alcohol or spending money or getting high. I prefer it. I am often alone, usually at night after my classes or earlier in the day. That's the same time my roommate goes out or is doing her homework or hanging out with friends. Last point is similar to my first, I don't enjoy going out. I still attempt to go out sometimes, but it's stressful for me and drains my energy. My boyfriend lives near the bar, so it's very easy to just go back to his place after making my appearance and socializing just enough. Also, being with my boyfriend has made me a better person. He encourages me to study and follow my goals, and we both make time for our friends and keep our lives separated. I don't feel the same about my roommate, who usually wants to get drunk or high, or spend our time talking about all the boys she had failed talking stages with. I don't know how to make her understand that if anything, I have a healthy relationship now. Yeah, your relationship sounds healthy to me. Your roommate should not be trusted here. She's trying to sabotage your relationship for unknowable reasons. Perhaps she has never seen a happy relationship before. Your roommate is jealous. Party friends hate when people leave the party circle. It's like crabs in a bucket where they keep trying to pull people back in. It's sort of a sign of immaturity to me where they can't envision a different way to be a friend. Hanging out at home together as roommates, getting coffee, going literally anywhere but the club or a party. Keep doing what you are doing. If you want to be kind, offer non-party things to do with her. You don't have to convince her of anything. She's wrong, you know it, why argue? Just say, "Thank you for your input," and change the subject. That sounds normal. You tend to go out partying less when you meet someone. She's maybe jealous that she doesn't have what you have.